Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Let's go and check out the most bizarre wrestling matches of all time.
You've seen wrestlers fight other wrestlers, but have you seen a wrestler fight a bear? Throughout the 20th century,
No,
many wrestlers would
that's
face off
crazy.
against real,
Maybe in
live
Russia.
bears. How did any of them survive? Well, the bears usually had a muzzle on and were declawed. Despite those limitations though, the bears were still actually pretty good wrestlers.
Watch. See the head or body.
Being that they were bears, they wouldn't always cooperate and would sometimes attack the referee. By the
Oh,
mid-80s, most wrestling companies stopped having bears on their roster, and nowadays, bear wrestling has become completely non-existent.
Yeah,
However,
that's
bears are
animal
not
abuse.
the only animals to step inside the squared circle. The longest reigning WWE champion, Bruno Sammartino, once wrestled against an orangutan for 15 minutes before having to tap out. In the mid-1900s, a wrestler named
How do you tap out? Like, does the monkey like, oh, okay, you tapped out, I let you go now. What? And how would the monkey, let's say, tap out or give up? Like, he doesn't. He goes until death.
Truesdale made a name for himself by wrestling alligators. But the craziest of them all is when Canadian wrestling legend Stu Hart competed against a live tiger. It's not known who won the match, but my money is on the cat. Japan has also done some insane matches involving animals. One of them was the Piranha
course.
Death Match. A tank filled with live piranhas sat in the middle of the ring, and the goal was
I heard that it's like superstition that piranhas do what they do. Like, they don't go to the bones and attack you. They would bite you, but that's it. Am I right or no?
to put your opponent inside the tank. Just to remind you, piranhas can bite through steel. So how did this match end? Well, here's how.
No.
He surprisingly left the ring in one piece. And if you thought this was the only crazy wrestling match you would see in
God.
Japan, think again. If piranhas weren't dangerous enough, there was also a scorpion death match. Literally, the
I love
first person to put their
scorpions.
opponent in a tank filled with scorpions for 10 seconds won. And if that didn't seem painful enough, there was also cacti in the ring that could be used as a weapon.
Does it have the spikes?
If you still
in
don't
it?
think it could get any crazier than this, think again. I'm guessing you're familiar with Jake the Snake Roberts. He would come out to the ring with his python Damien and use it to terrify his opponents. However, I'm guessing you're less familiar with Sean Venom. This guy also had a snake accompanying him to the ring, but he took things one step further. When the snake wasn't hanging around Venom's neck, the reptile was kept in a box. This created the snake box match, where the goal,
But
as you can
the thing about snakes, like, you can remove the venom, then they do bite and the bite hurts, but at least it's not toxic.
guess,
Or
was to
venomous.
put your opponent in a box with a snake. I'm guessing PETA didn't sign off on this. In 2007, it was revealed that Hornswoggle was Vince McMahon's illegitimate son. McMahon became protective of his newfound child, so to prepare Swoggle for the Royal Rumble, McMahon set up a mini Rumble match. What we didn't realize was how literal it was going to be. All of the competitors were mini versions of WWE
That
wrestlers.
is
This included a mini
awesome.
Batista, mini Mr. Kennedy, mini Kane, and even a mini Mankind. The match featured several funny moments, like mini Kennedy not being able to reach the microphone, and mini Batista hitting a mini Batista bomb. The fun ended though once the Great Khali entered, and unfortunately, he wasn't mini.
Okay, that is not fair at all. What are you doing? That is so sad.
However, Finley made the save, and Hornswoggle was the one who had his hand raised at the end.
No.
In the 90s, WCW would host a yearly pay-per-view called World War III. The main event was always the titular World War III match that featured a whopping
Royal Rumble.
60-man battle royal. In order to fit
60.
everyone, the match had to be split up between 3 reigns, each containing 20 wrestlers. Once the match was down to the final 30, the remaining competitors would all merge into one reign. That's crazy, but it's not nearly as insane as this next match. In 2019, Game Changer Wrestling presented a match featuring 2 of John Cena's relatives, Invisible Stan and Invisible Man.
There is no way this happened.
Parts unknown. His weight is also unmeasurable.
us mortals weren't able to see the action, the referee thankfully came prepared with bad boy vision goggles. Stan and Man started the match with a technical showcase and traded pinfall attempts, but neither one could get the 3. The match then went to the floor and spilled out through.
It was all the referee. Keep in mind, the whole match is this guy refereeing, performing. He needed to be a really good actor to do this.
Crowd. The battle of the invisible wrestlers got out of control, so additional referees and backstage officials came out. However, it was not enough to contain Invisible Stan and Invisible Man.
Oh,
Don't do it! Don't do it! No! Oh! Out of the balcony! Dangerous! That's about a 30-foot fall! Holy shit!
The match.
Holy shit. Oh, they're having so much fun.
Then returned to the ring, but it somehow got even more intense.
Oh! Through the table!
How did they do this?
2 and 3! He got him!
Now, in case you left your goggles at home, the ring announcer was kind enough to tell us who won.
I almost didn't see it there.
Seeing a wrestler go through a small pile of thumbtacks looks extremely painful. Now imagine going through 50,000 of them. The company Beyond Wrestling hosted a 50,000 thumbtack match. Oh, and don't worry, both wrestlers fell on them a lot.
Why would they do this to themselves?
The only thing more strange than seeing that many thumbtacks in the ring was the fact that Ash Ketchum from Pokemon was the referee. Wrestlers come in all shapes and sizes. We've seen giants and men tougher than steel. Heck, we've seen grandpas wrestle. However, I doubt you've seen this. In 2011, Kenny Omega traveled to Japan to take on the opponent of a lifetime, a 9-year-old girl. Don't let her size fool
I
you.
saw this,
She
yeah.
packs a punch.
We will never see this again.
Even though his opponent was a child, Kenny Omega did not hold anything back.
Yeah. Oh!
Equal rights, equal fights, I guess. Luckily for the girl, she was saved by the bell when the time limit of the match was reached. As bizarre as this might be, this is only like the 6th strangest thing to come out of Japanese wrestling. In addition to everything else we've seen, Japan has also blown up the ring with the wrestlers inside it.
Are you crazy?
In Japan, a unique match
Man,
stipulation
Japan is
exists
insane.
called the Exploding Barbed Wire Death Match. First, instead of regular wrestling ring ropes, the ropes are replaced with barbed wire. Because that clearly isn't dangerous enough, the ropes also explode when hit. Besides those small differences, the match is won just like usual by either pinning or submitting your opponent. But while the match is going on, there's a timer, and once it counts down, well, you know what happens.
Look how bloody they are.
Once COVID struck the world and everyone had to socially distance, it made wrestling basically impossible. However,
Yeah.
Game Changer Wrestling found a creative way around that. The company held the first ever social distancing rules match. Both wrestlers had to stay 6 feet apart from each other
Don't tell me they never touched each other and they had to wrestle like that.
at all times. What's most shocking though is that it actually worked.
Big rear back. Oh, big punch.
The referee even came prepared with hand sanitizer to ensure a 99.9% germ-free match. But the best part came at the end.
What is Janela doing? Oh, tackle! Oh, do the door!
This next match gives a whole new meaning to the phrase, high risk. In an effort to create a spectacle, several wrestling companies held scaffolding matches. As you would assume, these matches had a scaffolding structure set up either
Nah,
above the ring
brother, we
or
don't wanna see
nearby,
people
with the goal
almost
being to throw your
dying
opponent
like this.
off it.
Things can go wrong real quick and you know it.
With a match like this, it's not surprising that several wrestlers have gotten seriously injured. Wrestling manager Jim Cornette infamously broke a leg during one such match in 1986. Years later, in ECW, New Jack fought Vic Grimes in a scaffolding match. However, due to a miscommunication, Grimes landed on New Jack's head, which caused brain damage and made Jack permanently blind in his right eye. After 6 months of recovery, New Jack and Vic Grimes fought again in another scaffolding match.
Yeah, this actually was a whole documentary. This is serious. I know that the music is like fun and whatnot, but the guy went back in order to pay back. Like, he had revenge on his mind.
Surprised that New Jack,
even though it was an accident,
agreed to compete in this type of match again, then you've never met New Jack. Once the two wrestlers got on top of the scaffolding, New Jack used a real taser to shock Vic Grimes. Jack then threw his opponent off the scaffolding with the intent of killing him.
Yep.
Despite New Jack's wishes, Vic Grimes did survive. Sometimes, it's not the wrestling matches themselves, but where they take place that's bizarre. For instance, Walmart hosted a wrestling show once. This looks like something AI would create. Another one is this wrestling show that took place outside of a Golden Corral. I feel like I know exactly how everyone in this photo would talk. It's not just small companies that have done shows in unique locations either. The debut episode of WCW Nitro was broadcast from the largest shopping mall in the US, the Mall of America. Around that same time, WWE hosted an event inside a subway station in New York City. The wrestlers had walked down a flight of stairs to get into the ring, but the best moment was seeing The Undertaker hit a tombstone piledriver on an escalator. That's impressive. But have you ever seen a wrestling ring on water? Well, once again, Japan managed
I mean, that is fun. Like, if you land, you can't land more soft than that.
to do the impossible. The company, FMW, actually put a wrestling ring in the
Hope you don't
middle
have
of a pool.
seasickness.
Wrestlers made their entrances on boats, and of course, someone got thrown into the water.
Dude, this literally reminds me of, what is like Ninja Warrior or something, the show where it was so fun as a child. I used to watch it.
The truly amazing thing, though, is that instead of the ring exploding, the water exploded.
Oh, they actually made explosions.
Now, all of this has been strange, crazy,
Why does Japan really love explosions, bro? I thought America loves explosions.
and bizarre. But this next clip is the most insane. During a tag team match in Combat Zone Wrestling, Osirian Portal was having some difficulty putting their opponents away. When their usual methods weren't working, they resorted to a different tactic.
As they were fitting all by himself. Ducks in the clothesline. Amos is catching his spot. Mesmerizing.
He's using hypnosis!
Is that legal here?
This can't be legal in international rules! Look
But
at
it's working.
He's hypnotizing the entranceway too!
Not only did they hypnotize their opponents, but Osirian Portal managed to hypnotize the entire locker room. The match turned into a full-on dance party, which Osirian used to knock their
that's
opponents
so
down
fun.
and get the win. After winning the World Heavyweight Championship, Randy Orton celebrated by making the fans take off their shirts. To see what happened next, watch this video.
I am sure they were on it. And I do hope that there were no girls taking off their shirts. But knowing Randy, that probably did happen.